I never drink wine, and I had some wine, and I'm feeling it. So thank you, Peg, for having me, and all of us, and thanks for coming. And I really want to take your picture. Can I take your picture?
Yeah.
It's like so many people. Usually when I read, it's 4 people.
That feels familiar.
Thank you. So cover your face if you don't want to be on Facebook. Yay!
You gonna tag all of us?
All right. Oh, yay! Thank you so much. Okay. So I was a little worried about the whole treasure thing, and
Renee, you might want to turn your mic a little.
oh, thank you.
There.
I was worried about the idea of treasure, and then I thought the book is set in Oakland, and I thought, well, that's a treasure. And even though what I'm about to read makes it seem like, you know, a girl looking for a guy, it's like 2 chapters worth of that, and then the book completely changes, and it's actually about family. It's about a family of musicians, jazz musicians. And the father has 5 ex-wives, and they're all of different races, and so I thought, well, family is a treasure. But the passage I'm going to read tonight deals with I had to get her dating again, so, and I'm so thankful to Zahar for mentioning the whole, excuse me. It makes mine just seem like, you know, because I thought, well, that's kind of a treasure too. Okay. The book also deals with art, so I thought this was kind of appropriate too. Whenever I was at my lowest about what happened between Avery and me, I'd conjure a list of other women who, like me, had been publicly humiliated by a man. My list was usually made up of a handful of women who'd married politicians, a particular breed of woman who'd inevitably stand by her man while he looked into the TV camera and apologized for lying to his constituents. And, oh, by the way, I'm sorry, honey, for cheating on you with the hot young intern, the 20-year-old house aide, the $30 call girl, or whomever. The only difference between women like this and myself is that they at least received some form of apology. Avery Brooks had disappeared on me altogether. When it comes to love, there's nothing worse than public betrayal. I was 33 when my heart was drop-kicked and sent flying through the air. Months later, when one of my stepmothers suggested I get back out there and start dating again, I looked at her as if she'd asked me to roll in oil and dirt. You want me to date after what I've been through? Are you insane? 3 years later, though, and you wouldn't have known I was the same sad sack of a woman who didn't want to do much more than sleep on her couch. Thanks to hard work and determination, I became the living, breathing embodiment of the old Gloria Gaynor song, I Will Survive. I will survive, just as long as I know how to love. I know I'll stay alive, I think. That's not in the book. A mere 3 years later, and I'd opened my own bakery, I bought a home, I had arrived. I was woman, hear me roar. I needed a man like a bicycle needed a fish, or however that feminist saying went. There was just one teensy-weensy problem. Years of living alone and as chaste as Mother Teresa, and I was beginning to wish for, actually started to crave the attention of those hairy, non-emotive creatures that often let the toilets lead up. What do you call them? Men. Yeah, that's it. My heart, bruised and beat up, began holding sit-ins with lit candles and music playing in the background to the tune of John Lennon's Give Peace a Chance. All we are saying is give men a chance. But a part of me was scared of men, one particular man. Not that any of this is about him, Avery Brooks, but he turned out to be the catalyst, if you will, the gold, the hot prod that convinced me I needed to make changes in my life. By now, though, I suppose I should start from the beginning. Actually, since I'm the daughter of a jazz musician, I'd like to start things off like my dad might, right before playing a gig with my uncles, his fingers poised above the keys of his piano, and just under his breath, a quiet, a one, a two. And so then we moved to the bakery, which is in Oakland. Everything is in Oakland. Does anyone ever go over there? Okay. Yeah. So she owns a bakery in Oakland, and she's sitting with her best friend, and it's early in the morning, but there's still people around, and her best friend is a doctor. And he's concerned by now that she's not dating. Bingers continued reading while I began returning email on my laptop. After a moment, I heard him mention something about the People's Republic of China, and I mumbled a non-committal reply. Not China, silly. Vagina. I looked up from my laptop knowing I'd missed something. What was going on with the Chinese and their vaginas? Binger shook his head. I was at the hospital and trying to remember the last time he went on a date. I went back as far as the 18th century. Ah, right, the dreaded Count Vladimir. I hated that guy. Abby, stop playing around. It's been too long. If you don't have sex soon, that vagina of yours is going to forget what it's there for. If you don't have sex soon, that vagina of yours is going to dry up and wither away. Thanks for thinking of my vagina, I whisper, while you're at the hospital supposedly saving lives. Besides, my vagina is perfectly fine. Your vagina is as dry as the Sahara. Your vagina is so dry it crunches. Your vagina is so... Okay, I get the point. What's with you this morning? Why are you talking about my you-know-what? My private body parts are none of your business. Private body parts? You sound like you're 5 years old. It's a vagina, and you have them for a reason. I shushed him, thinking of my customers trying to enjoy their muffins. Not that anyone was nearby. I also wouldn't dare say the word muffin aloud. I knew Bendrix would run with it. You need someone enjoying your muffin. Your muffin needs attention, and whatever else he'd say. He swung his tablet around. What's going on? Edit. I looked down at his tablet. Avery Brooks stared back at me from a photo as if no time had passed. I read the headline. Avery Brooks, artist, making quiet comeback in Amsterdam. I skimmed the text long enough to catch familiar phrases like impassioned artist, fraud, Oscar-nominated documentary, and the more unfamiliar Phoenix Rises, cells doubling, second life. I clicked to the next page and I saw Avery with his arm around a ruddy, freckled girl whose blonde pigtails flipped upward as though pulled by strings. She wore clogs and lederhosen. I exaggerate, but only slightly. She was in her 20s and pretty in a pale, freckled Scandinavian way. They have a son, Bendrix said. Good for them, Pippi Longstocking and Basquiat's love child. I pushed the tablet toward him and covered my eyes with my fingers. That's where I'm going to stop.